Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. We're getting our first snow of the season today, or maybe it's more like ice pellets. I think I'm going to move the auction ficus indoors. I'll put it under that UFO grow light. The leaves are starting to come out on the branches and it's starting to grow everywhere. So I want it to look really good for the auction, and I think if I keep it out in the greenhouse here, on days like this, it won't grow any. It's just too cool. So what I'll do is I'll keep it in the plant room, and then if I do get a nice sunny day and the greenhouse warms up, I'll bring it outside for the daytime only. I kind of baby it for the next month, so it's looking good at auction time. Today I'll be doing some winter prep. I'll be mixing up bonsai soil for the winter. I'll be putting the hose away for the season, and maybe clean the east troughs or the gutters so I get cleaner rainwater coming down into my cube. Here is a look at the auction tree. I brought it indoors now. It's under the bright UFO light. I've got it on my spinning tree bonsai turntable from Adrian, so I can rotate it around to get kind of even light on it. So yeah, it's I think once it gets in here into the warmth, because it's fairly warm in here compared to outside, and it's got the good light on it, I think it's going to just explode in growth. I hope so anyway. This tree will be auctioned off in December at the Toronto Bonsai Society's club meeting. So this is kind of the before, and I hope by auction time all those back branches have filled in and it looks really good. And I'll have to add moss to it. Yeah, make it look really nice. It's later in the afternoon now, and the ficus here is just getting blasted by light. It's got the sun shining in from the plant room window. It's got the UFO light on it, and it's just soaking up that light, I hope. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's going to be a nice looking tree in the future. My goal for today was to mix up my bonsai soil. I biked up to the store and I got reptile bark. So my soil recipe, I use half perlite, half safety zorb or fuller's earth, and then I add about 10, maybe 20% of this. This is fir bark, and that kind of gives a bit of a organic element to the soil. I don't know if it does anything, but sometimes I don't use it. If I have it, I use it. If I don't have it, I just use the perlite and safety zorb. I just got back from biking, and it was snow and then sunshine and then a bit of rain, and so I went through all kinds of weather. So I haven't been in the greenhouse yet since the sun has been shining on it. So let's go in and see what temperature we've got in here. Feels pleasant in here. Okay, so I'm about 17 or 18 degrees Celsius, so getting close to room temperature. So pretty nice. And the sun's shining on everything. That's good to see. I moved the auction ficus into the plant room, so I had space on the bench here for another tree. So I brought out my Natal ficus, and over the summer, since I last repotted it, there's two roots here that have gotten really thick. So they'll have to be corrected to kind of balance the root system. Also, the trunk has gotten really thick. It used to be kind of it was more of a slender trunk. Now it's getting quite wide at the base because I am getting those radial roots sorted out. And it's thickening up. So I think, this trunk's just going to keep getting thicker, and I don't want it a really short, squat tree. So I'll have to grow this upright branch structure quite a bit taller and remove all these lower branches so you can kind of see the flow lines of the trunk more as it reaches up. So it'll be more like, if I come over here, more like something like this, where I have that original short trunk, and then I'll have all these branches reaching skyward, and then the canopy way up high. Not that high, but medium. While I'm in here, I'll give everything a misting, especially on these ficus trees, to kind of keep the trunks moist, keep all those aerial roots growing. Missed my cuttings there. The Sarissa gets a miss. The Sarissa's been growing really nice since I last repotted it. I took a lot of roots off it last time because they were all tangled in the mesh. And I was kind of worried. I thought, oh, I took a little more off than, I was expecting to because it was so tangled in that drainage screen. And I thought, oh, it's got to recover before winter. And so it has. It's really growing nicely now. You can see all the flowers on top. Nice, healthy green foliage. Yeah, it's doing really well. I'm really pleased with it. Yeah, an awesome little tree. All right, keep misting over here. Do the Schefflera. My fig, which still hasn't ripened up yet, but I'm hoping it does. Get all these roots. Okay, I think that'll do. Let's get mixing up soil now. The larch forest is just starting to get some yellow needles. You can see on this branch here, some yellow needles underneath. So they're just starting to turn. I've got my safety zorb all sifted now and in the tub. So next, I'll work on the perlite. Okay, here I go. Big bag of perlite. So I gotta level this because I want about half perlite and half safety zorb. So I'll check the level on the side of the tub here, about here. So twice that is about to here. One thing I just learned the other day is that SpaceX, in their big ground tanks where they store their rocket fuel, there's an inner tank which holds the liquid, and then there's an outer shell, and in between it they fill it with perlite. Same stuff I use in my bonsai soil, which is interesting. I never knew perlite was used for launching rockets into space, which is kind of cool. Those sure look like snow clouds rolling in. Guess we'll find out. It is getting quite cold outside. My hands are freezing doing this. But I'm getting there. You can see the level of the perlite now. So I've got to go up to about here. So I'll keep sifting. I am done sifting the perlite. You can see the bin is filled up to the right amount. I didn't get a lot of dust out of the perlite because it's super coarse perlite. So, I got quite a bit, but not as much as the safety zorb. I got more safety zorb there. So we use that, mix it in with gardening soil as a soil additive. It doesn't go to waste. So next, I've got to mix all this up. So I'll get my hands in there and start mixing. With a dust mask on, of course, because this stuff is dangerous for your lungs. I was right about that being a snow cloud because the snow is starting to fall now. Looks kind of beautiful over there though. All right, here I go. This is a big bin. I have an identical bin that I can port back and forth. So here I go. That should help mix it up. There's all my turf in the bottom. And you can pour this into here now. Pour it back. Well, that's helping to mix it. Certainly help separate the dust. Where does it say? It says 100% pure fir bark. So firs are a coniferous tree. It's very similar to pine bark. Now this stuff isn't composted. Ideally you'd, leave it sit in a tub with some water or something so it kind of breaks down a bit. It will use a bit of nitrogen as it decomposes, so as long as you fertilize your trees lots, it'll be fine to use and it'll naturally decompose over the upcoming years. Now, how am I going to add this? I should have added it before I stirred it all up. That way it would have been mixed in. Well, I can stir it all again, I guess. So I'm going to add, a fairly good layer. And I don't know what this does in the soil other than, holds a fair amount of water in the pine bark or the fir bark. It's sort of like a organic reservoir, I guess. So I'll just add a good amount, maybe 10-20%. Let's say about there. And I'll have to mix it all in somehow. Maybe I'll have to pour part of it in here and then mix them separately. Mix that up. That's looking pretty good. Whew, dusty. Add a little more. All right, I'll pour some of that in. Stir that up. It's looking better. It's a much more even mix now. some more of this in. There we go. Okay, pour some more in here now. And mix this up. That looks good. Mix this up. That's looking good. Pour that in. A little more reptile bark. About like that. Give that a stir. Okay, and then the last bit will go in here and I'll mix that up. Just like that, and I'll add it to the bin. Just like that. So that is one big tub of soil now. Well mixed. Perfect for growing trees in. Yep. Okay. So I've got quite a bit of reptile bark left over, so I think I can mix up another tub tomorrow. So over the winter I'll have 2 of these big tubs of soil. That should be plenty. I might even do for my spring repotting outside here for the hardy trees. The sun is setting on yet another day. I'm going to see Dune tomorrow with my brother in IMAX, which will be really fun. While I was out on my bicycle today getting the reptile bark, I also stopped in at the thrift stores to check for bonsai pots, but I didn't find any. So that was too bad. I'll put all the fine stuff in this other bin. I'm gonna hold my breath. I don't have my mask on. So here I go. Here's the final bonsai soil, the spice melange. I've got Dune on the brain. Yeah, so that's a good amount. I think that'll do me right into spring repotting, I think. Yeah, so lots of good reptile bark, perlite, safety zorb. Yeah, that's gonna be great bonsai soil. The last thing to do tonight is to get everything cleaned up and put away. Get my soil in the plant room, put a lid on the fine stuff. That's about it. I've reset the min and max. So today it got up to 17 degrees Celsius, which is getting closer to room temperature, which is quite nice. I'll see what it goes down to tonight. Last night it went down to 6 degrees Celsius. So I'm expecting it's even 1 degree colder tonight. So it'll probably go down to maybe 5 will be the low in here, which is getting pretty cool, but it's not cool enough to cause any damage to the trees. I'm back here inside the nice warm greenhouse. It's only 10 degrees Celsius or 10 degrees above freezing in here, but compared to the outside temperature, it feels very warm and tropical to me. It is going down to -2 degrees or 2 degrees below freezing tonight, Originally, it was supposed to go down to -3, but it's warmed up a little bit by 1 degree, and I'm happy about that. I looked at the long-range forecast, and it looks like I'll be able to keep the trees out here for at least another 2 weeks, which is just awesome. So hopefully I'll get a little bit of work done in the plant room. And the winter prep work continues. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.